Today we're going to be talking about the tsunami effect. So for those of you that know what this tsunami is, it is when we have these earthquakes and we have these these big tidal waves that are coming in. And so in the whole first responder world, they're talking about a huge tidal wave coming of after COVID and after the protests in the first responder world. And the thing is that COVID and the protests are not finished. And I'm already seeing it in this group. So I wanted to talk to you about that and just give you guys some information about what it is that I'm seeing. So what happens in your stress system is when you're being pushed, when you have, I know with a lot of you, you have a lot of overtime, you're covering for, in the beginning of COVID, there was a lot of people were off, and I don't know where you're at right now. I know some places it's stabilizing and some places it's ramping up. So when anyone in your service is getting COVID, other people have to be covering for them. So there's a lot of OT, there's a lot of covering for other people. And then there's also the stress of the job. I know that here where my husband works, they're being spit on. There's a lot of, your guys are full on contact with people with COVID. During protests, people are coming right into your faces. So there's a lot of different stressors. And then we also have your family stressors, quite a few. We have people where you have family members with compromised immune systems. And a lot of you, as I hear, signed up for to be a first responder, understanding full on what you yourself was putting yourself into, but you never ever signed up for your to have your family involved in it. And so COVID has just taken this whole other level. I know as well, I know that there's some in this group where you're driving ambulance, you're basically picking up COVID patients at one hospital and bringing them to another hospital that is solely COVID every single floor. And when you go in, they just tell you which floor has an empty respirator. So every single day you're in contact with this. And then all of these hours, all of these things start taking a toll. And I'm seeing a lot of things, or I'm hearing a lot that is taking a toll, not only on the job, but at home. So it's taking a toll on you, but it's also taking a toll on your spouse as well as the kids, because at home your spouse is also worried about you, and they're taking the load at home of having the kids there 24/7. So let me know in the comments if you do have kids at home at COVID, during COVID, with your spouse being completely in charge. Let me know if any of you are in that situation and how you're feeling. Like, we've got that family guilt that goes along with it as well. And then we're starting to get a lot of friction at home. So when I'm talking about these symptoms, I'm going to give you guys the list. And when I list these, tell me if they are you or if they're your spouse, because it actually can be both of you. So we have the sleep, tired and wired, waking mid-sleep. We have snoring, sleep apnea. You could also be sleeping more. So you could be finding out that you're sleeping for longer periods of time, where you're still waking up almost feeling hungover, feeling like it takes you a pot of coffee or an IV of coffee to get going. Your motivation and drive may be decreasing as well. So that motivation and drive, where as much as you know that your spouse is at home solo with the kids, you have nothing left in your tank at all to help. And when you are trying to help, you may find that your short fuse is kicking in, that you are going from 0 to 100 so fast at home that the kids may be just asking for something simple. They may be just wanting to be kids or playing and being a little loud, and all of a sudden you're instantly angry. Or you may be doing this as well with your spouse. There's a lot of issues with spouses and families right now. And so I did a training a while ago, and I want you guys, I can, if any of you want it, just ask me for it. But it is really looking at, first, what was your marriage like before? If you earlier in your career had a solid marriage where you guys were each other's best friends and you guys got along really well, then um, then I would encourage you to start looking to see if both of you are experiencing these burnout symptoms. Because if both of you are short, if both of you are not getting your sleep, if both of you are easily frustrated, if both of you are struggling with digestive issues, more health issues, blood pressure issues, if you guys are struggling, if both of you are struggling to get anything done around the house, you're feeling bad, you have the family guilt, all of this extra that is being put on you with having kids at home during quarantine is could be tipping either both of you or one of you over. And when you're in this state, at least I know for myself, and I do know this for many that are in the program, when you're in this state, your body is so out of control, your sleep's out of control, all of this, that I know that I used to have to control everything around me. I needed to control all of the yard work, all of the things in the house, the way the dishes were done, like the smallest things, the way that the dishwasher was loaded. Um, I would get pissed at my husband for that. Like it would cause fights for the smallest things that never ever used to bother us. And there was a time where I was wondering, like, are we in a solid relationship? Are we good? And and it was once I started getting out of burnout, once my stress system started getting supported, and once I was calmer and I had more energy, motivation, and drive, and I wasn't getting so angry at things, that then when I did, and I realized that the day before that didn't bother me, because when you're stressed, when you're coming out of it, certain days are more stressed than others. So there's days where the symptoms appear and days when they don't. And you start watching these things and you're like, holy crap, this was my body and I had no control over it. And quite often, this is what's coming a lot in your houses. This is what's coming a lot when you get home. You may also be at the point where you're exploding at work as well. You may be at the point where the anxiety of hypervigilance is too much at work as well. You may be at that point. It usually starts at home. And then when you're starting to come home from work and work's supposed to be your safe space, that doesn't become your safe space anymore. And when that starts happening too at work, if you are in a supervisory role, you are in charge of other people in front of you, if you are below you, if you're starting to get more frustrated with them, if you're not able to remember details of your reports after your calls, if you're finding you're great on a call, but it's afterwards that that brain fog kicks in, that the short fuse needing to control things is kicking in, where your gut gets worse, where you're either diarrhea, constipation, or both, is totally acting up. These are all signs that your stress system is struggling. Okay. I want you to know that this is not, in my experience, there is a difference between PTSD and mental traumas and your stress system. Now, PTSD, if you have PTSD, your stress system is taxed to the wazoo. So you are going to have these physical symptoms as well. Okay, I just want that to be known. But quite often we are told by our services that everything that's going on with us right now is a mental health issue. And I'm here to tell you that I am absolute proof, and those that are in my program, that it's not always a mental health issue. If you're having flashbacks, if you are struggling with nightmares in your sleep that are waking you up, if you are struggling to go to certain calls, then yes, those may be things that you can be helped with trauma therapy, with PTSD, with all treatments and all of that stuff. But if you are not sleeping, if your gut is off, if you're getting brain fog, if your motivation and drive is down, if you have anxiety and depression, it could, yes, be a mental thing, but it could also just be your physical stress system. Completely just your stress system needing support. And when I say needing support, we're talking about hormones, nervous system, and digestive support. All of these three things need to be done together. Okay. Fixing one is not going to help. If you just start now, just breathing, or if you're going to start just drinking water or starting to exercise, that's not going to fix the problem right now. We need to actually dig to your stress system and fix the root of your stress system. But this tsunami effect, I'm already seeing an increase in this. I'm seeing an increase of people coming to me because their marriages are on the rocks, and it started when COVID started. I'm seeing people that are coming in with more physical issues, more blood pressure, cholesterol issues, testosterone issues, with digestive gallbladder issues, major allergies, skin allergies, all kinds of things. So all of these things keep building up. And the more that you guys are pushing to hold that front line, and I know you guys are fighting your biggest fight to hold down that front line, because right now, like, everything is being under attack. Going to work every day and having people just put you down for what you do, for keeping the monsters away from them and saving their lives every single day, takes its toll. It absolutely takes its toll. And just so you know, it is your physical system that needs that support. And there is nothing wrong with going to counseling and getting help from the mental aspect of it. But until your physical stress system is supported, you're going to continue to have these issues. The physical stress system is the base of what your body is doing and moving, and how your brain thinks and how your body functions. So if you want to get ahead of this, if you want to not wait until COVID is over, if you want to not wait until these protests are over, I've got your back. My program is absolutely designed to work around it. Ask anybody in my program. 15 minutes a day, and they often do the lessons on the toilet. 15 minutes a day is all you need. And I can help you get out of this. And if you can spare that 15 minutes consistently on a daily basis for yourself, we can get it so that you're starting to sleep, so that your energy comes back. Your motivation and drive, things that you used to love to do, you start doing them with your kids. You're calmer with them, and you're enjoying your time with them and your spouse. If you want your brain to be clearer so you can actually do your reports and remember the information, remember what happened on your calls. All of these things are your physical stress management system. I can help. Let me know. Comment below if you want. Private message me. You can email me, support@911lifestyle.com. And I am here to help you get out of this. This tsunami effect is going to be hard. There are going to be so many of you that are going to be struggling to hold that front line once COVID and these protests are done, because your bodies are going to crash. So let's prevent that. Let's get it now before it gets any worse. Because I'm going to ask you, where is your body going to be in 1 month, in 6 months? Where's your body going to be in a year or in 5 years? Where's your family and your relationship going to be? This is something that we need to be working on now. Reach out. Absolutely no judgment. I am so lucky that my marriage is still together, because when I was in burnout, that person that came out was a horrible person. And I'm thankful that my kids talk to me and are a part of my life still, because that person I never ever want to be again. So there is no judgment, but I can help you.